Okay, so today's session is going to be about the singing competition. So I'm just gonna go over the rules and then I'm gonna give you guys some tips. So shouldn't be too long today, but if you have any questions, definitely just comment and I will get to them as soon as I can, okay? Thanks, April. Thank you. Okay, so singing competition. So this competition is available to contestants of all ages, so 4 and up. The competition is divided into 2 different sections. So first there are preliminaries and then there are finals. So the preliminaries are going to be taking place on the Wednesday evening right after event check-in. So for those who are in singing competition or in dance or both, your event check-in will be earlier. So your event check-in is from 3 to 5 p.m. and that's just to give you some time to check in and get ready for the singing and dance preliminaries. Okay, so, and Azari, the official schedule will be released in the itinerary upon event check-in. So every contestant and every visitor gets a program book, and in the middle of the program book is our itinerary for the entire weekend. However, you can go on to the convention info page of our website, and that page has the itinerary from last year, and it will be quite similar to last year. It's a full day, and everything wraps up as far as competitions and seminars around 8 o'clock, I want to say, and then there's the dance after, but the dance is not required. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so back to singing. So if you're in the singing competition, you have to take part in the preliminaries. So the preliminaries are going to be on Wednesday evening. So that's the first day of CMTC, as in event check-in, right after event check-in, the preliminaries. I'll get to the music that you'll need, okay? So preliminaries. For preliminaries, the rules are performances must be single acts only. So you're the only person in the room with the reps. The preliminaries are closed to an audience. So that means it's just you, kind of like, think of like Canadian or American Idol, where you're stepping into the room. It's preliminaries to see if you're going to get to the finals, and you're just in front of several different reps, and then they will decide who makes it to the finals on the Friday of CMTC. Okay, so for the singing preliminaries, it is a cappella, so you don't need music for the singing preliminaries, and you can't have instruments, and it is a maximum of 1 minute. So whatever you're singing, if you have, my tip to you is if you have a song that you are really passionate about and there's a part of a song that you feel like your voice really shows your potential of your voice and your skills, then I would just sing that part of the song. Okay, so you only have up to 1 minute, so a maximum of a minute. So really go in there and give your best performance. And then from there, if you're selected for finals, you can have the musical accompaniment, okay? So again, quickly, the rules for singing prelims. So performances must be single acts only, so just you are in there with the judges. The judges are music industry professionals, so they're coming from different parts of the world, Toronto, LA, New York, whether they are looking for somebody with different types of genres of music. They're all professionals. So they, again, it's a cappella because they want to hear your voice. They don't want to have distractions with music behind you or an instrument or anything like that. They just want to hear your potential, okay? We'll get into this with tips, but I suggest, that's a great question. So would the same song be used for preliminary and finals? We suggest yes. So if you make it past preliminaries and into the finals, we've had feedbacks from the reps that they prefer that the person keeps the same song because then they get to hear more of the song. So you get a maximum of a minute for prelims, and then in finals you have a maximum of 2 minutes on the main stage. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this. So again, no musical accompaniment. It's just you and the judges in the room, a cappella. It doesn't matter the genre of music. We've had people do opera, soprano, rap, country. So that's really up to you. There's no rules saying which genre you have to do, but it does have to be a cappella. And then for wardrobe and costume, we just say in good taste. So dress personal style, show your personal style, but nothing that will be distracting and nothing that will take away from your performance. And April, that's a great question. So you can sing a cappella in the finals. However, you do have the option to have musical accompaniment. So I will get into the rules. So if you're selected for finals, you'll find out on the Thursday. They'll be posted at the information booth at CMTC. So prelims are Wednesday evening. Every person who is registered for singing competition has to be there for singing preliminaries on the Wednesday evening. And then on Thursday, we don't give the judges a limit of how many they can select for singing finals. It's totally up to them because we think if there's a lot of great singers, then they deserve to have their chance on the main stage. So we leave that up to the professionals to choose, okay? So just so you know, there's no limit on how many they can select for finals. Again, it's just up to them and the talent that they see. Okay, so the rules for the CMTC 2020 singing finals. So the finals will take place on the main stage at CMTC. So again, you'll find out if you made it past preliminaries on Thursday of CMTC at the information booth. I did send an email last night with all these rules as well, but I will send it again on Friday with a link to this video. So for singing finals, you have up to 2 minutes. So prelims, up to 1 minute, singing finals, up to 2 minutes. Singers, you have to, by April 1st, submit your music for finals. So whether or not you make it past preliminaries to singing finals, you need to submit your music by April 1st if you want to have music, because that makes it easy for our team to go in and see who's been selected for finals and give the AV team any required music for the contestants who do make it to finals. We just don't want anybody who's made to finals, who wants musical accompaniment, struggling to find and get their MP3 files to submit. Okay, I'll get to your question, April. That's a great question. Let me just finish the rules here. So again, if you want musical accompaniment, you need to submit your music through the singing music submission form before April 1st, before or on April 1st. And with that will be just a commentary card, just asking your contestant name, contestant email, and asking you to give us the song name. So if you make it to finals, we can announce the song and then play the song for you, okay? So again, even if you don't make it, like if you are in the singing competition, prelims or not, or sorry, finals or not, we need you to submit your music if you want it for finals, okay? So then if you have it, or if we have it, we can play it for you, and when you're at CMTC, you don't need to panic and find the music. So that's why we're doing it that way, okay? So the form is in the contestant guide. It is the singing music submission form. So it's quite similar to how you submitted your program book, but it's for MP3 files. So the next thing I want to say is, since it is a 2-minute maximum, you want to, if somebody wants to start at a certain part of the song, not at the beginning of the song that you are submitting, then you need to cut that song for yourself. Because all our AV team is going to do is we're going to have an MC announce your name, announce your contestant number, and then the AV person will be just pressing play on your musical accompaniment. So we suggest like a karaoke style. We don't want to hear music where you're, there's singers in the background as well, okay? So instrumental is what we want, or karaoke style. We don't want you singing over a different singer, let's say. So like we just want you to have the karaoke style, and we want you to have either instrumental as well. And for people who play instruments, if you want to do your own song, let's say a song that you've wrote yourself, if you want to record yourself playing guitar, playing piano, you can submit that as well, because during finals we don't allow for instruments. But again, if you want to sing your own song and you want to record yourself playing guitar, piano, or whatever instrument you play, you can submit that music as well. Okay, so I will look at these questions in just a second. I just want to get through this. So again, for finals, if you make it past preliminaries, you'll find out on the Thursday. And everybody who is in singing competition, if you want musical accompaniment, you need to submit your music by April 1st, okay? And that's through the form in the contestant guide, very similar to how you would have submitted your program book. And I will give that information in Friday's email as well. So Again, if you want the song to start in a specific area, you need to edit yourself, because our AV team, they will only be pressing play on the music you've provided. So it needs to be cut by you if that's what you want. Exactly, Simone. Okay. So yeah, Natasha, it's through the contestant guide, and that's how you'd submit your music. And nope, it's not a clip of you singing. It's just the music that you might want if you make it to finals in the background, because during finals you can have music and you can have music in the back. Preliminaries is a cappella, okay? But the music, again, should be karaoke style. It should be, or just instrumental. You don't want to be competing, but the music is very loud during singing finals. You have a microphone and you don't want that song to have, another voice behind you. The judges, you want the judges to hear you. The preliminary judges, there will be more judges and reps at the finals than during the preliminaries. So you do want to put your best foot forward, and if you want music, you don't want it to overpower or overshadow your voice. Okay? And yep, you're allowed to move, so you're definitely allowed to show your stage presence in both preliminaries as well as during finals. So the finals, you're on the main big stage of CMTC, so you have the entire stage to work with. And so if you're a performer and I'm hoping you're a performer, if you've entered singing competition, you're more than welcome to kind of show your stage presence, and the judges, that is actually a part of their criteria for judging, is they do look at stage presence, okay? So for this, they look at voice quality, so pitch, tone, your breath control, your musical skill, so timing, rhythm, projection, and your transitions, and then your interpretation of the song, the style, and stage presence. All of those things are what the judges are looking for. Okay, I'm just gonna look up some of these questions. Okay, I think I answered some of them. Yep, you can sing in a different language if you'd like. So for singing preliminaries, you don't have a microphone. For singing finals, you do have a microphone, okay? So Natasha, if you haven't been able to access the contestant guide, please email registration@cmtc.ca and they will assist you, and they'll give you the password for that part of the website, okay? Okay, so you can cut off your song at 2 minutes if you would like. You don't have to, because at 2 minutes, what they do when you stop singing, and it has to be at 2 minutes, they'll just fade out your music. So it's up to you. If you want to edit the music yourself and cut it at 2 minutes, you're more than welcome. If you have, say you're singing, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a good example. What's a song I like right now? Like a Justin Bieber Intention song. If you're singing from the beginning and you just want to submit that karaoke style of the song, then you just submit that, and at 2 minutes our AV team will kind of cut you out, and by that I mean they'll just fade out the song so you can end at your 2 minutes and get off the stage. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to cut the song. I just mean if you want to start somewhere different, then you need to cut it yourself. But if it's just the MP3 version and you want to sing the song from start to 2 minutes, then you don't have to cut it for us. And the karaoke can have background vocals, like if it's just someone singing kind of like harmony or something, then that's fine, but you don't want it to overshadow. You don't want someone singing every single word along with you, okay? So Taylor, for restrictions, it just has to be appropriate. So anything that has explicit content or profanity, you'll be disqualified, because we do have little ones, and the finals, it is open for all of the audience, so everyone at CMTC, so we don't want anything explicit or inappropriate, okay? Getting at the questions. Okay, So again, for finals, very similar rules to prelims as far as single acts only, no instruments, and wardrobe must be in good taste. Alexa, Ariana Grande songs are fine. Okay. So does anyone have any questions about the rules or cutting your music? Again, you don't have to cut your music. It's just if you want to start somewhere different than a song might start because you want to take advantage of that 2 minutes, then you have to cut it from the beginning. However, if you just want the song is normal and you want to start from the start and just end at the 2-minute mark, then our AV team will just fade it out and you don't have to cut it for us. Okay? And again, the music for finals needs to be submitted by April 1st. Even though preliminaries is a cappella, we still want your music on file if you make it to finals. So April, if you win singing competition, then we do have an award ceremony at the end, but really what this is about is exposure and showing your talents to the different reps. So not only the singing reps, but there are acting reps that do represent and want to work with those who act as well as sing, or even models who can sing, because there are different types of commercial work or TV or television work or movies work where you also need to be able to either model and act and sing. Okay, so this is really about just getting exposure for yourself as well as getting the experience of singing in front of these industry professionals and getting their feedback. Yep, so there is a sound check. That's a great question. So there is a sound check for singers. And again, that's why we want your music on file, because if you make it to the finals, you're gonna go to sound check, making sure all of your music is correct and the AV team is understanding what your performance is gonna be like, and to test your mic as well. And then there's the actual finals that take place in front of the audience, but the sound check is closed to the audience. So the room is just you and the AV team. Great question. Okay. Awesome. So hopefully I've covered and have made kind of more sense to everything. And so I do just want to give some more tips for this. So we do advise using the same song for preliminaries as you do for finals. It's not a rule, but we advise it because we've had the reps tell us that they prefer when someone keeps their song the same because they've selected them based on that song they perform. So they want to see the next minute of that song. So they want to see your whole performance as well as what you do on stage with that song. As well as not every single rep will be in the room for prelims. So you want them, you want to show why you were selected to go to finals. And obviously the reps during preliminaries enjoyed your music and enjoyed your singing. So that way, again, it just keeps consistency, and they chose and selected you for finals for a reason. So we do just suggest to keep the same song. Okay, so that's one piece of advice I'll say. It's not required, it's just suggested, and it is feedback that we've received from all of the reps over the years. Okay, so the other tip I have is, again, cut your music the way you want it to be if the beginning isn't the way you want it and you want to take advantage of those 2 minutes. Yep, April, a parent can come to sound check with you. Okay. So one really big suggestion I have for singers who are attending CMTC is to create a YouTube channel. So this is kind of like your portfolio as a singer. So we suggest 3 or 4 of your best songs. And again, that's feedback that we've gotten from the reps, as after they meet you at CMTC, they might go back to their office and check out your YouTube channel. So you really want 3 or 4 of your best songs on that channel. Don't put a bunch of different songs on there, like 10 or 20 or 30, because then they're only really gonna watch 3 or 4, and you wanna make sure it is your best performances or your best song or something that really shows your skills. So again, 3 or 4 songs, YouTube channel. I'll talk more about this for promotional when we go over promotional material to bring for CMTC, but we do suggest even bringing a little card with your YouTube channel and your name. And that way when they leave CMTC, they can look you up and look at your YouTube channel and I guess remind themselves what they heard at CMTC, okay? So that's really advantageous to do that as a singer. Nope, there are no restrictions for using the same song. We actually suggest to use the same song from preliminaries to finals. Okay. So Chloe, that's a great question. So will they ask for the card with your YouTube channel? Not necessarily, but if they're interested in you for singing or anything else, you can give it to them. So they're there to meet you and you're there to meet them. So they definitely want you to give them any promotional material they have, and then they can physically take that back with them to their agency. Okay. Just gonna see if anyone has any more questions for me. That's a great question, Dominique. So it doesn't need to be an MP4 file, meaning a video file. It just needs to be your music. So you don't need to be seen. It's just your music. It's just the song that they would play for you during finals. Oh, okay, I see. Yep, so we've had a lot of people who've sang the same song as one another, so that's okay. It doesn't matter. They're judging off of you and how you sing the song and how you portray the song. So how you portray the song and sing the song might be different than the next person, and that's okay. Again, you're allowed to choose your own song, so if it's the same as somebody else's, then that's fine. I mean, over the years, there are definitely trendy songs that people will choose to sing, and that's absolutely fine. Yep, Taylor, your visitor can come in to sound check for sure. Okay. Alrighty, so hopefully I've answered all of your questions, and I will send out an email on Friday kind of summarizing everything we talked about, as well as providing you with the rules and regulations. So definitely just understand that if you are in singing and you want musical accompaniment for the singing finals, then you need to submit your MP3 file, so your soundtrack or your karaoke or your instrumental. You need to submit that through the contestant guide, through this song submission form by April 1st. And the next thing I want to remind you of is that singing preliminaries, if you are in the singing competition, you must be at preliminaries, and preliminaries are Wednesday evening, so they're right after event check-in, okay? April, will they give you feedback on the spot? They might. Again, kind of similar to the other competitions, the reps, we really allow them to ask any questions whenever they want, because again, you're there to meet them and they're there to meet you. So if they have a question for you during prelims or at any point in time, they will ask you for sure. But you might not necessarily get feedback, or you may, or they might just wait. A lot of them might wait until callbacks so they can actually speak with you one-on-one. So Jessica, what type of music styles are you looking for? Contemporary, classical, it can be any type of style. What happens if your music doesn't work at soundcheck for finals? So again, this is why we want you to submit in advance, because we want to make sure that we can hear your files. So that's why the submission date is April 1st, because we want to go over and we want to make sure that we can hear it on our end, what you've submitted, as well as that's why we have sound check. And if something like that happens during sound check, we do our best to make it work. As in, if you need a song from us, we will look into finding that song for you. But again, it is really up to you to ensure that you're submitting something that works and submitting the song that you need, as well as it cut the way you want it to be cut. The maximum is 2 minutes, so definitely take that into consideration for finals. And then prelims, it's a max of 1 minute. But exactly, Taylor, I mean, if you wanted to sing a cappella in finals, if something happened to your music, let's say, then you could definitely sing a cappella. If you were selected from prelims for doing a cappella, I'm sure then your a cappella for finals would be just as good. So that's no worries either, but that's why we have sound check. We want to make sure these things don't happen. Okay. Alrighty, so Yvonne, you can watch this. I'm gonna post it on our story so you can rewatch it, and we'll also post it to YouTube, okay? Alrighty. Well, I hope I answered everyone's questions. And next week we're gonna be talking about runway competition, and I will send an email on Friday linking to this video, as well as going over all the rules for preliminaries, the rules for finals, as well as any tips we might have for you, okay? Hope you have a great night. Thanks, everyone.